actually explicitly taking the time to connect with students. And that's really just really about sending signals of safety to that brain. That could be through like an icebreaker activity, a regulation activity. It doesn't have to be long, right? Oftentimes it can really be like 1 or 2 minutes. The second step we talk about is activate. And activate is really about how do we get the brain into just the just right state of learning. So what we know about the brain is that we want the brain to kind of be under the just right amount of stress for learning. That means that you don't want students who are like sleepy, like lying on that desk, right? Like that's too relaxed and not going to be kind of in that optimal state of learning. Conversely, you don't want students who are going to be really anxious or kind of a really hype state, right? Like that brain is not going to be kind of conducive for learning, but you do want them to have that just right level of engagement. And that's why we see that stress is not actually always a bad thing. We tend to talk about stress as a really negative thing, but actually having the just right amount of stress is really what is going to kind of enable that just right amount of arousal for learning. So that's really the activation part. And then the reason is really where we start to talk about the executive functioning. And that will be really about like, how do we provide, explicit schemas for students so that when we get to the elevate portion, which is really about our academic learning, students already have a schema in which they're able to actually embed that information that's coming in.
Wow, that was a lot. It is so important. And I think a lot of what you were talking about is what me as a layperson would say is kind of having a relationship with the student, knowing a little bit about the student's background, knowing a little bit about their family life.